Rev, you want to kick us off and let's get rolling.
Excellent. Thanks so much, everyone, for being here. Of course, Jason, thanks a ton. We're Trevor Nelson and Jason Ledlow with HGA Fundraising. We have a very special guest today. Big Mike Namath from Mega Event Productions has been in the space for a number of years. Energy is unparalleled, and he does something that's super, super unique for his clients, and it has to do with pre-promotion for the events. There's so many things as far as excitement that we can generate leading up to an event. Mike really hits it out of the park. You're going to get a fresh perspective on how to promote your event, how to get folks excited about buying tables, tickets, excited about the venue, excited about the auction items. And we're gonna prod Mike for some of his trade secrets. We're gonna show you some examples, and of course, as always, interactive Q&A. You got the Q&A at the bottom of the screen, chat feature as well. Keep the questions coming. Nothing's out of bounds or off limits as far as questions are concerned. And of course, like Jason said, we will not be going past an hour, and we'll have a drawing for a winner of an auction item that you can use at your next event. And we can show you how to get folks excited about that too. So Jason, I'll let you take it away. Big Mike, thanks a ton for being here. Everyone else, thanks.
Appreciate him being here. So, you know, one of the great things of doing what we do, Trevor and I, we get to talk to nonprofit professionals like yourselves all across the country. And one of the things that we're hearing, the questions that I get now more than I've heard in the past, is how do I get people to my event? We've got a great venue. We've got a great menu. As our friend George likes to say, it's the venue and the menu. He said, we've got all that. Now, how do we get the word out? So before I bring Big Mike in, some of the things that, you know, what we just in general want to talk about is all the above. Now, I want to talk to you about that. When I say all the above, I want everybody to remember, you know, and you guys, if you've been here before, you're going to know this really fast. The most powerful fundraising tool that you have is this right here. We've all got one. It's that phone. And so, you know, I want to make sure that when we talk about this, we're not leaving anything out. These are additional things that you can do, and a lot of things that Big Mike is going to talk about, because he's really good at this and can bring some great, you know, has some great experience share for us, is to talk about that. So Big Mike, I want to just thank you so much for being here, and just want to say, you know, we appreciate that you're here, and just want to say thank you. And so really appreciate that you're here doing this. So one of the questions I have, because, and we're going to give an example, a couple of examples I've got that you sent me. Guys, get you a piece of pencil and paper out. There's no presentation. This is kind of a really open, fluid deal. Like I said, Big Mike's getting ready to do an event this afternoon. So he's coming to us live from his mobile office. And right there, he's all dressed for the golf tournament. And so
that's right.
Questions, hey, put them in the chat, put them in the Q&A. We will get to them. There is no question that can't be answered, regardless about this. And you can ask anything about, you know, when it comes to event fundraising. So I want to ask you first off, so tell me, what is one of the most important things that you've seen coming out of last year, you know, the dreaded year, coming into this year, that is having a lot of effect at getting people out and getting them to events?
Okay, so the show must go on is one of my big things, you know, besides your current supporters that you can definitely go back to and get them involved. You know, there's the selling the corporate tables. But then I think the big thing is really, you know, marketing to new supporters. And when you say how to get people to come back, people are ready to come back. We're doing live events everywhere, and they're back. You know, there's in my mind, there's no question about it. They're back. And things are doing well. And so I'm just keeping positive, and everything's going to keep going that way. But marketing to the new supporters, I think what I've learned in the virtual world is really what I'm taking into, you know, this year. Without really knowing it, I was doing it all the time. And that's kind of what I want to share with you. My background is owning furniture stores for 30 years. And I was always a guy on TV, you know, and so when I got hired into different auctions, I thought, you know, boy, I should do a promo for you so your group, the first time they see me, isn't the day of. And so you'll run some of these spots, but it was simply me saying, hey, this is Big Mike. I'm with the Angel Forever Foundation. I'm going to be your host and auctioneer. Save the date, September 20th. Put it on the calendar. It's going to be bigger than ever, and we need you more than ever. And so I started doing little promos. And those promos, with the power of what you said, the cell phone in your hand and everybody's Instagram and everybody's Facebook, and the power of sharing it, has equaled in big time to a new audience, an old audience knowing who your auctioneer is, and promotions. When I'm selling a golden, I'll do a series of videos for several different organizations. And, like this, I want to tell everybody, hey, I'm headed to a golf outing. So that's why I'm kind of dressed in this shirt and I got a hat on and I'm in my car. But this talk is so important that it's just like this message has got to get across because it's working. And so let's say we had a golden ticket. I would be back on, whatever, 10 days earlier and say, hey, it's Big Mike, your auctioneer. I want to tell you something great. It's the golden ticket. There's only 100 tickets and you can go to one of these 4 locations and you better get yours before they're gone. And then I might talk about the mission for a minute, and then I'll have a little fun and I'll say, we'll see you there, be there. And really being memorable.
Hey, I've got a video teed up of you doing this. Let me just show it to them real quick so they can see it.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Big Mike, your virtual auctioneer for the Kids Matter Empower Gala. I want to let you know about the golden ticket raffle. They're $100 a piece, and there's only 200 tickets available. So listen, if you win, you get to go to one of 5 places: Napa, Cancun, Canada. You get to go on a canyon experience or even a food truck experience. So you get to win one of these 5 things. So listen, get your golden ticket, $100 before they're all gone, and help Kids Matter.
Okay, so that way they can kind of see actually what it was. You actually got in the camera, got suited up, and did these promos.
Yeah, and let me tell you what, the other one I sent you was a raw footage of me doing a commercial in my house. I simply did it on my iPhone, and what I would do is send this to the organization. They would add their music and their logo, and they would put some magic to it, okay? But do you have the unfinished one you can cue up?
Yeah, let me play it right here.
This is just a raw footage.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mike Namath, and I'm going to be your host and virtual auctioneer for the College Bound Arizona Virtual Gala. It's our first ever virtual gala. It's Thursday, October 22nd. So put it on the calendar, Thursday, October 22nd. We have an awesome silent auction. We have an incredible live auction planned. And what do you need to do to get registered? Text the word CB 2020 Gala to 76278. It will be above in the script as well. Again, how do you register? Text the word CB 2020 Gala to 76278. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your neighbors. Let's make history together for College Bound. All right, Thursday, October 22nd. College Bound Arizona is going virtual. It's the virtual gala. It's going to be unbelievable, and more messages to come from me. See you there. Get it on the calendar.
That's really good. So I want to ask a question of you real quick, Big Mike. And so
yeah,
you're doing this stuff, and like you said, this is raw footage. But what I want to share with everybody out, that's watching this, and they go, well, I don't know that my auctioneer is going to do that, or I'm not even sure who my auctioneer is yet, or stuff like that. You can get somebody else to do it. It doesn't have, Big Mike, this is something that he does. He's good at it. But you can also find other people to do it. Maybe you've got somebody on your committee. I did an auction this is years and years ago, and there was a couple that their kids went to this school, and they would do some kind of a goofy promotion like this. Like one year they did the cheerleaders that were used to be on Saturday Night Live with Will Ferrell and Cherry O'Terry. They did this whole routine like that and did that kind of stuff. So if you've got some people like that are kind of fun, maybe that you've got somebody on your committee or knowing, you can still do this, right?
That's right. You're exactly right. And my message changes depending on the organization. Mm-hmm. For example, I deal with MDA a lot around the country. And so that message is it's toned down a bit, so I could take that whole message. Let's just talk about Angel Forever. This is suicide awareness. And it's more of a message about, we need you now more than ever. Pain isn't always visible. And, about turning your tone, what I've noticed is, first of all, a lot of auctioneers can handle this because they're just little 15-second spots. And you could do it in your house. And if you mess up, you could do it again.
Yeah,
and
that's
eventually,
so true.
yeah, you send them the good copy, and then they put their logo and they add their music and they create a footage of it. So I really like that. But what I've also noticed during events over all these years, even when it's virtual, that chairperson really could put something together very easily for 15-20 seconds because they're living it every day. So it rolls off their tongue very, very easy. And, they're invested in the community. A lot of times in these cities, people know them. So when I'll come up and do some consulting for organizations, I'll often say, hey, let's get together and dress up a bit, because let's do a commercial together. So lots of organizations, I've had the chairperson right next to me, and it could even be done on my iPhone, for goodness sakes. We record it and we put some graphics to it and we put some music to it. And now people are seeing me, with the chairperson, with the CEO, getting that message out. And really has been impactful. I really think it promotes trips. All right, so hey, if we're going to do this big trip, whether it's, to Hawaii or a safari, I always thought, boy, it's good to know. And why not have a guy promote it? As an auctioneer, I'm going to be promoting it on that stage that night anyway. So let me tell you about a couple of the live auction items that we have coming up at our gala. I'm going to tell you about two of them. We got a 7-day Maui stay, and I'll do my little thing just like I would on that stage. But now, and I include a video, now they basically have viewed it and have thought about it. So when they're at the auction, they're not seeing it for the first time.
That's a great idea. Hey, Mike, one of the things I wanted to ask is, so what are the ways that you're seeing, because I've got some thoughts I want to share, but I want to get your input first, of how you're seeing your clients actually share those videos. Now, you mentioned that they're doing it, on social media, but like even more specific than that, because I've got some thoughts on that, but I want to get your take on it, how you're seeing them actually share these videos and using this to get the word out.
Okay. So for years, I've been a big component of some personal phone calls and texting. Okay. So I'm a text guy. I'm going to give you an example of that. I'm doing an event for the police, and Jason, about this big event. SEAL Team 6 is going to be there, and it's a big one. Well, I sold 40 tables at $2,000 on my own before I created a flyer by texting people. Little paragraph, I copy and pasted and went to the next guy. So let me tell you what I do with the CEOs and the board members and the committee members is, when I go to an in-person consult or a Zoom consult, I say, everybody right now, text this video that we just made to 15 people and let them know, hey, sometimes I say things, if I really know the person, would you like one table or two tables to the event? And they come back, give me one, give me one. But the power of texting, to me, along with it's easier than picking up the phone for some people and having a conversation. They click on the video. I'm talking about the people that
Yeah, and hold on. Now I want to make sure that everybody hears this, because what Big Mike's talking about, he's not talking about a texting platform that's with your software or any other deal. He's talking about you picking up the most powerful fundraising tool that you have, your committee, your board members, everybody saying, hey, right now, everybody, I just sent you a video, text this video to 15 people. That's what you're saying, right?
That's right. Now, what I might have to help them with is the wording. In other words, hey, on December 4th, I'm just going to give you my event. I wanted a party for the police. I believe morale is at an all-time low, and there needs to be some appreciation. And this is what we're doing. Can I count on you for a table? Here's how much it is. And let me tell you what, I've always done this probably the last 10 years, maybe 7 years, without really knowing the power of it. I sold that event out via text while my brother Johnny was driving. I was sitting in the passenger seat. We had a 2-hour drive, and I sold the event out 2 hours via text. I haven't even created a flyer yet. I'm debating on, and so that power of whether you're saying I'm maybe you're a table captain, and we're talking about bringing the right people there, you know, people who are attached to the cause, or people who can spend money at your event, or people who are compelled to, and they love live auctions. So if I was a table captain sending text out, I would simply say, I would attach the video and say, I've got a table and I want to fill it, and can I count on you for 2 tickets? Here's the date, and just do the ask. That's a little bit of the salesman in me, is do the ask. But I get very picky on filling that room with the right people. Otherwise, you could have the best venue, you could have the best band, you could have the best food, but if you don't have anybody there, doesn't really matter. And more importantly,
donors with capacity is what what you're specifically saying. They got to be able to write the check.
Yeah, I call it, you want people to attend and spend.
Yep. So, okay. So just kind of to recap something, you know, we're talking about using these videos, but something that Big Mike's talking about really goes back to what we've talked about in a lot of other previous webinars. It's, you know, when we look at doing a people exercise, I'll just give that to you real quick again. So who do we know? And when we say, who do we know, that means you can text them right now and send them a text. Not like, well, golly, I sure wish we could get the billionaire that's in town that, you know, does anybody have him in his, can you text him? No, then he's not on the list. It's, you know, who do we know? Then we ask, can they write a check for $10,000 and not miss it? Can they sell out a table? Can they go fill a table with people with money? And, you know, 3, do they have access to something? You know, their brother's an astronaut at NASA. I mean, those are things that are, you know, or, you know, they have a house in Aspen or something like that. So, but then those people that have capacity, that's who we want to get, the people that can do a table. And maybe you've already done this capacity because you've been doing for your sponsorships and, you know, your underwriting and stuff like that. This is how to get the word out to people, because there are so many people that are, you know, you said it a while ago, people want to get out. I don't care what the news tells you right now. The live events that we've been doing and been a part of, whether I've just been the auctioneer, we're doing software with them, whether we're just putting items in there, or, you know, talking to auction professionals like yourself, you know, fundraising professionals like yourself. It's like, everybody's like, holy smokes, they are ready to show up and be a part of something. So I want to tell you, and one thing I want to mention, I want to get your thoughts on this, just for general, because there's a lot of news out there, you know, masks and COVID and shutdowns, and are they going to open up, and they, you know, doing all this stuff, vaccinations, all that. This is what I've been saying to nonprofit professionals when I speak to them. And I just want to hear, this is what, you know, our deal. Trevor says this all the time. Let's let the people decide, you know. Don't, now, obviously, and I'm saying within reason. You can't, you know, you got to do within the rules and all that stuff. I'm not suggesting we do that, but I had some people say, well, I just don't know, is anybody going to come? I said, the people that are going to come are going to come. If there's somebody on the fence and they're not, whether they're going to come, whether you have masks or vaccinations and all that stuff, they're probably not going to come anyway. So if they're that worried and concerned about it, and I'm not saying they should or shouldn't be, but if they are, they're probably not going to come anyway. What do you think about what's your take on that?
Yeah, I think it even goes even a little further. When I started this with organizations, when COVID first hit and things were crazy last year, we started with like the main donors and the sponsors. And I think it still starts there, because if they want to go live, we're going live. And I think a lot of organizations are holding back, wondering what they don't want to go live, because I don't want to offend my sponsors and my donors. And so sometimes it's a simple ask and you'll find out from them. And then once you treat this real, everybody else will treat it the same way. So, you know, once you're all in, you're all in. But I always started with my donors and sponsors, those core people that are behind the organization. And then once we're all in together and we've debated this, which way to go, then we're all in and we go with it. And I've had great luck with that. Then none of the guests, you know, there's no issues. The whole board is in, and we've had this discussion, and hey, we decided to do it, and we decided to do it with this many people. But I do feel energy right now, you know.
Oh yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's been so good. One of the things I want to mention, because you did talk about social media. Now, so my question is, I believe that a video shared is more powerful than a video posted. And what I mean by that, when I say posted, where the nonprofit goes to their site on Facebook, whatever, and they post, and they put all that information up there. And that's great. You got to do it to get started. But
yeah.
I think that's just the beginning. I think the most powerful way for that to get out there is whenever, like you said, the board members, the committee members, everybody out there, you either tag them on there, or they go on there and share it on their feed, because that's how you're going to get the word out when you're talking about social media.
Yeah, absolutely. The tagging is huge. Having them share it. There's an algorithm there that really helps things out. I'll give you an example for a baseball organization. We were doing tryouts, and I have this thing called Team Caller, and I'm able to call all these parents. And I just said, I need you to share the post. Well, we had like 160 shares in like 9 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
It went unbelievable. And all the spots were filled instantly. It was all done in a day. And what I always took the attitude from a committee point of view or a board point of view, if you want it bad enough, you're going to make these calls, and you're going to do the text, and you're going to be relentless. And if you don't want it bad enough, it's easier to find an excuse, than a solution. So I've always been a go-getter. I've always offered to my clients, hey, I could do this if you want it. I just did 3 videos at the Naperville Marriott yesterday, saying we're doing a consulting, and I said, we're in the ballroom, we're getting ready for the big event, we want to fill this place, and we showed the empty ballroom. Well, I happened to be there, and I thought, well, let's just show them where we're going to be. Let's show them that we're all in, this event is happening. And then we just did a little promotion, and the CEO was there with me, and it went great. But this is in addition to your emails. And you know what? My video gets connected to the bottom of the email if they want to click on it. This is in addition to the invitations and the phone calls and the handwritten, invitations. But what I've learned is that being a little bit relentless on this, like an acquisition party of items, when you were talking, when I sit down with 20 people, we get our phones out right now and say, who knows somebody who has Blackhawks tickets, Bulls tickets, Bears tickets, who's got the vacation home. I did a little tiny event in Champaign, Illinois for a friend, and they had no live auction. We were doing a mission ask. Well, I had 10 people around a table, and I said, let's just talk about who has what. It was a 5-minute talk. I came up with 7 items, and we took in $24,000. It took me about 7 minutes. This guy gave his vacation house. He was sitting at the table. This guy had these Cubs tickets. It just really, if you got the right people and you're all in and you're relentless on it, you can get a lot done in really one day if you really did it. And that text copy and paste, man, I went from A to Z on my phone. So yeah, I don't pay for a text campaign. I started with A, and I felt, who do I want to invite? Because some people don't fit the bill, or some people don't fit the need.
I think that I want to just touch base for what you just said is really, really good. You're saying that you actually open up your contacts, start an A, and then start going down through there. When you see somebody that you say, I want this person there, that's who you send it to.
Took me 2 hours. Took me 2 hours to go through it too. It took some time.
And I know this is going to come up because I hear this a lot. And as a fundraising professional, you deal with this a lot, where somebody, you've got a staff, executive director of development, somewhere, committee chair, and they go, I just can't get anybody to do anything. This is how you can get people to do something. This is how, because you're taking all the thought process out of it, all the fear, and everybody's doing it together. Don't wait till the end of the board meeting and go, hey guys, by the way, make sure you share the post. I've been on the boards that have done that. It's like, put it on the agenda. Okay, our new business agenda item. The event's going to be in 3 weeks. We've got to have this done. Here's what we're sending out, or we're looking for whatever it is. Everybody pull your phone out and just really get on top of that right then.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think this is a hybrid way of consulting and getting new people. It's a little tough for some people, okay, to like, oh my God, some people aren't texters. But let me tell you what, most people are, and most, once I show someone, if they don't know how to copy and paste, I'll go through someone's phone with them. But you're right. If I have 15 people around a room and we all text a quick 20 people and we have ordered a pizza and we're texting the same message to everybody, I'm looking for this, or here's when my event is. Can I count on you for 2 or 4 tickets? I want to fill this with great people. I thought of you, and this is a great cause. This is suicide awareness.
Hold on. I want you to back up and say that last part again, because I think that is so important for our people listening right now to catch that. Say that one more time.
So here's the nice thing about me. I don't even know what I really just said there. I was just feeling.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say back what you said.
Yeah.
We've got a great event. We're looking to bring great people in. I thought of your name.
Thought of you. Yes.
I thought of
That's
you.
right.
Your name came up, and I'm I'm asking if you want to come be a part of this. People, I think that we
personal invite.
We underestimate the power of that personal invite. We underestimate what that is. And even if somebody, and one thing that I want to just challenge everybody to do, here's a great way to get call reluctance. I'm going to pick on Brenda for a second, just because I see her name here on the deal. I'm going to say, Brenda, if you're sitting there going, well, I don't know. I don't want to know if I want to call or text. And I'm not saying that you do, Brenda. I'm just pulling your name. I'm going to say, Brenda, do you believe in what we're doing? Well, sure. So this isn't multi-level marketing. There is nobody going to be upset with you because you asked them to come to an event of something that you believe in. And if you believe in our mission, and if you believe in that passion that you have is going to come through. And what's the worst going to happen? They're going to say no. And if it's anything more than that, they probably weren't a friend anyway. So, I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's funny how you have that little comment. They're like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm not selling. This isn't, I'm not trying to sell Avon. So, and I shouldn't knock it at multi-level marketing, but I'm just saying it's that kind of deal. People like this stuff.
Yeah. I just did a consulting in person. It was 15 of us around a table. I was number 16. And I said, if we all did, there's 15 people there. If we all did 2 tables, there's 300 people right there. So we need 20 people apiece. That's 10 couples. So let's text 30 or 40 people right now to get those 10 couples. You could be done with it. I'm telling you, if you did it right, and everyone's on the hook for 2 tables, you got 300 people, 15 board members. Now, not everyone's going to do great, but I will tell you, before I start texting, I say, well, don't just text anybody. Who's your banker? Who's your insurance agent? Who put the roof on your house? Who's that neighbor of yours? Who do you know? I don't want the bank tellers. I want your neighbors, and I want you. And because now I'm teaching them this. This cause is important to me because of this. MDA is important to me because I work with the Jerry Lewis Telethon, and so what I teach people there is a little bit of salesmanship involved in this, in order to motivate that board to be. We could almost be done with it in one meeting. Everybody's on the hook for 2 tables. The question is, who's your 20 people? Be very picky about who your 20 people are, and let's text. I will tell you, I play in a band, and I've been in a band for 30 years. I played Saturday night on the south side of Chicago. It's a bar called Bourbon Street. The night before, I texted about 150 people. Hey, it's Big Mike, my band's playing here. If you could make it, great. I'd love to see you. I had like 400 people show up. Nobody responded to my text. I just went A to Z, sitting on my couch while my wife was watching The Bachelorette, and I was stuck on the couch with her, and I texted everybody, and we had about 400 people show up. I just did the same thing for my band as I would.
Yeah, tremendous. Texting is, and that's what I mean. And that's why one of the things I want to make sure and just go back to again and just say, when we're talking about texting, Big Mike's not talking about, the texting platform and where we're going to send out to our list and do it. That's good. I think texting is a very powerful communication tool, but there's no texting system that is powerful as your texting, that personalized.
And people want to hit
more
that
powerful
button
than a phone call. Because if you make the phone call and you go, hey, Big Mike, hey, this is Jason. Hey, give me a call back. Hey, man, you know what I mean? You get playing that phone tag.
Yeah, a lot of voicemails.
With the video, put a video together like what we used. It just was so powerful. Hey, I want to
realize, Jason, real quick. Yeah. I didn't realize So on my phone, I don't see the chat coming in. So, but I did see one thing come up, and it mentioned group texting. And yeah, group texting is a no-no. You never want to put 20 people on this group text and hit send. You do it individually. It takes time, but it's worth it, and it feels heartfelt. I invited you to my party.
Thank you so much
no
for
group
getting that. I'm glad you got that. So, hey, any other questions that people come do? Bring them, and let us, give us some questions. We've got him here, for myself or about anything else that we've talked about. We've hit on quite a few things. So I want to make sure that you guys get those questions up there, and just as they're coming, Mike, based on your experience, okay, I'm going to kind of just dive back into the thing.
Sure.
What is like one thing that you'd want to share with everybody here? These are, everybody here's somehow in the profession of, or, they either run a nonprofit or they're very, very close to one. What is something that you would want to share with them?
Well, audience acquisition is the most important thing. A lot of people spend time on the things that really don't matter. The theme, listen, I'm a theme guy as well, and I like to have fun with it, but to me, it's really all about this audience acquisition, and then everything else falls in. So I believe time management is so important, but I want to let you know, if you're doing the same old, you're missing a big opportunity on what a lot of people are doing. If you want to get certain people, they'll respond to a text, but never answer a phone call. So don't be afraid of change is what I would like to get across. And the change to how you're getting your audience acquisition. And also, when I had that board meeting with the 15 people, really about 5 or 6 of the board came up to me and said, we've been wanting to do that for years. When you have 15 people, there's 5 go-getters and 10 people that sometimes don't get going. But our job is to motivate and to teach and to show them how easy it is. On that meeting, it happened, I guess it was last week, I guess it was Thursday, 190 tickets were sold. 109, so 19 tables got full via text session. We didn't get 300. We didn't get 2 tables apiece, but we did 190 between 3 and 5 p.m. Wow,
that's so good. Trevor, you got another question for us?
Yeah, we had a question that came up, and Mike, this is amazing, and I love it. We were putting this in the chat. You didn't even know that you were doing it while you're doing it. Now you look back in hindsight and you realize this was the money shot the entire time.
Yeah.
I do think that it's uncommon for someone to have the enthusiasm that you have, and that's a gift. But what I do think, and what's so attainable for folks, is that you're not talking about 40 hours. You're not talking about 10,000 hours to promote these things. You're talking about you bleed sincerity, and you have the enthusiasm that gives folks the nudge, But the thing of it is that this is just grassroots. They would call it a ground floor marketing exercise, where you're just being thoughtful and deliberate with your time. And I think these are things I really think that everyone should probably watch this recording again after we send it out and share it, because these are gold nuggets that can be used for every event. So,
and you don't need the camera crew.
And I'm gonna say something real quick. I want to say something real quick, Trevor. Big Mike is definitely one of a kind in doing that. But just because you don't have him doesn't mean that this doesn't work.
Totally, and I wasn't exactly.
No, I know. But I want to just encourage you. You may sit there and go, "Well, gosh, I don't have,
Yeah.
We know Big Mike's been doing this for a long time as a
find someone who is.
That's why he's so good at it. But
find someone who
it doesn't have to be you. But here's what I want you guys to do. I want everybody to just right now. I want everybody to put your hands right here. Pick your hands like this and put them right here in your chest, just like this. And I want you to just act like you're just going to do the Superman. You're going to grab your shirt and go, "I got this." Okay?
Yeah.
Because that's what you guys can do. Y'all have so much power and so much, the capability of inspiring your groups to do this. So do not hesitate to say, "You know what? It's me. I'm going to be the Superman, and I'm going to go, or Superwoman, just to be fair, and to say the superhero, and I'm going to go do this and make it happen." So you guys can do this. But
I want to teach you one trick, Jason. I got a little trick for them.
Please.
This is taped to my mirror right now. So I made some little notes. I told Jason I need 5 minutes. I'm going to scribble some notes down.
You did.
Well, this same postcard went, all those videos are done on my iPhone. So my wife records it. I tape this to the back of the iPhone. So I'm looking at my bullet points. Now, what I will tell you is I also write up commercials for my organizations if they don't want me doing it. And I simply give them 3 or 4 things. Here's our date. Here is who we are. Save the date. Let me tell you about a couple of our auction items. And then the next commercial is this. And it's they're reading it off the card basically, but it's bullet points, but they're invested in the organization because they're living and breathing it every day. So the genuineness is there. And usually takes 1 to 2 takes because, hey, it's 30 seconds. And they're living this every day, so it goes really good. Even when they think they did a bad take, I said, "Oh no, let's keep that one." And so, right on my iPhone, no camera crew. Now I have the latest iPhone. I'm not hip on all the technology out there. You know, the lighting needs to be good. You can get little things, but I didn't do anything necessarily special. And I just want to let you know it's really doable for everybody. And I will say most auctioneers have some energy and could knock this out. I just wanted to let you know, you know, there hasn't been one organization. I sent 3 videos to an organization that they don't know me. It's my first time. And I just said, here's a couple of videos I made. And I didn't know if she was going to love them or hate them. And she says, oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. We should have been doing this for years. Well, most of the time, you know, it's a video day, it's a text day and age, and short and sweet. Don't text anybody this long. Don't make a 3-minute video where somebody's attention span. It's like 20 seconds.
Less is more.
I think those are really
Less
good.
is more. And we did have a question. We did have a question that kind of bleeds into this a little bit, though. Actually, Jay, is that Michelle from Georgia had a question. Because it's a pretty obvious question, just because how powerful the video and texting can be. She asked, does anyone even send out mailed invitations anymore? You know, what's your feedback on that, Big Mike? And you, Jason?
So here's my 2 cents on it.
Big Mike first.
They're still doing it all. Okay, the emails, the invitations, the handwritten, the personal phone calls for the right people is still a personal phone call. The social media is still there. Now you're adding this on top of it, along with texting people. And the power of texting, to me, I had 10 texts come in during this call. I'm reading them. I'm multitasking. You know, that's what they're doing. They're not answering your phone call right now, but you can get the yes. It's just got to be the right ask. Can I count on you? Check your calendar. Get back to me tonight. I'd like to fill my table tonight.
For you on texting. Here's a stat on texting. All texts are read within 97% of all texts are read within 3 minutes of being sent. 97% within 3 minutes of being read. Your texts are going to get seen. Now, I want to say about mail. I think mail is a good thing. I think that you need to be very creative and thoughtful about what you're doing. I'm going to give you some thoughts on this. I was a communication chair for an organization for 3 years. We had, and you know, everybody would always say, I'd go to this national group. It was for entrepreneurs organization. I go to this national group, and everybody sit around and go, what's the best way to communicate with everybody? Is it email? Is it sending something to the postal? Is it text, chat? And what I learned in my time doing it was all the above. Because Trevor doesn't do social media. He doesn't have, he doesn't, and I'm not saying I'm just giving you an example. So he really doesn't do that. Big Mike, he's all about, getting the text message. That's the way he likes to communicate. Me, I don't do any of it, but my wife is the one that books all of our social engagements. So she's not going to get my emails or my texts. But when we send something to the house, she's the one that looks and says, hey, let's go to this event. So all the above. An idea that I want to give you guys for your mailing, it's going to cost you a little bit more money. And I'm not suggesting you do this for a mass mailer or save the date. But if you send what I call chunky mail, where you send a thing or something, it literally could be a postcard inside a really nice thing that pulls it up, and they've got a, and it says with a codec, the little funny little squares that you put your camera on there to see it, something to get engaged to see it. And they could pull up a video, and it's, Big mics, and they're going, hey, everybody, we got this great event coming up and you've got to be here. There's things that you can do like that will get people's attention far above and beyond the other ones. Obviously, there's still a call for very formal invitations and things like that. But there's also some ways you can be creative to get outside of the box, if you would, and do that. So I believe in all the above. I think you need to email. I think you need a phone call. I think you need a text, and you need to send something in the mail.
Perfect.
I got one more for you when it comes to building an audience. Okay. I do a lot of celebrity events, and people right out of the gate automatically figure like, well, we don't have a budget. We can never get this celebrity in there. When the Cubs won World Series, I did several of those guys' events. I'm doing Bulls stuff, White Sox, Blackhawks, you name it. And in different cities, the same recipe works everywhere. So let's just say we want to bring in, the Bulls just signed this new player. Okay. His name is Io Adagio, but he happens to be a local guy from the Chicagoland area. Well, he'll probably cost $20,000 to bring in. So, but here's what I want to let you know as an organization. When I bring in, Coach Ditka or this basketball player or this coach of the New Orleans Saints, whatever it is, it costs. But the organization never pays. If your ticket's $100 and you have 400 people, raise your ticket price to $150. You have 400 people, your price went up $50, $20,000. So the price goes up. You have a celebrity there. Celebrity equals 50, 70, maybe 100 new people coming to your event. And now you have a platform to say, hey, this is who we are. Thank you for coming. As an auctioneer, I'm an educator, I'm a motivator, I'm a teacher up there, I'm a salesman, a little bit of everything. But I know that a lot of people came here to see, Bo Jackson. And now I got a little time to sprinkle the Angel Forever Foundation to the guests there and win some over for years to come. And the organization didn't pay for it. Everybody did. But then more importantly, I auction off items with the celebrity. It turns out making money every single time and gaining audience every single time. And so don't be afraid to try that.
Great feedback.
I've got something, and we're going to draw, just so you know, we're getting up, we're almost about 15, 16 minutes left to go. We will finish on time as always. Any more questions, please pop those out there. And we're going to draw a winner. So don't leave yet, because we've got a winner for an item.
Deal.
So we'll want to pull that out. But, you mentioned, having that. One of the things that this is happening more and more all the time. Your mission is so important. Your mission is critical. But if somebody doesn't know your mission and doesn't know anything, they're probably not going to come. They're going to come because they know somebody's there, or you've got something they want to see. We've got another friend of ours in this industry, George Wooden. He says it's the venue and the menu. And when he says menu, he says, I'm not talking about food. He's talking exactly of what Big Mike just said. Yeah. He is talking about,
what's on the
oh my gosh, we've got Michael Jordan's going to be here. I'm just pulling somebody, whoever.
Yeah.
But we've got somebody coming, and you may not know anything about the organization. You may not, but boy, you want to go see that person, or, it could be some kind of celebrity. You don't have to do those things, but if you're trying to really bring in some new people, you need to think about it.
I'll jump in on here and just let you know, just really quickly.
No, hit it, buddy, hit it.
Jim McMahon is the quarterback of the Bears who won the last Super Bowl. And Jim's a friend of mine. And really, it's 1985. It was 40 years ago, whatever that is. But people still like him. And he charges like 10 grand to come, okay? So if your ticket price was $100 and you got 400 people, now it's 125, and you've paid for Jim McMahon. But I want to tell you what we did. Still to this day, the event was 3 weeks ago. We had a VIP party for 40 people, $100 a piece. So not only did we raise the ticket price and pay for him already, we took in $4,000 right there. I brought in a speed painter. He painted 2 ahead of time, 1 live. I sold them for $1,000 a piece, 2 in the back for $1,000, $3,000. We're up $7 grand. There was a total of about 60 new people there that had no idea about the organization. The reason being, Johnny, my brother, and my ringmen are talking to people. Hey, what brought you here today? it's very easy sometimes, hey, my dad has ALS, or, I lost a daughter to suicide. In this case, it is, we're at an ALS event, and it's Jim McMahon's my childhood hero. And I just happen to be at an ALS event to see him. But then, like, Jim McMahon always stays the night, and I auction off breakfast for you and 6 of your friends with Jim McMahon the next morning. And it works with Cubs players. It works with celebrities. If you're bringing them in, they got to stay the night anyway, and they got to eat. So I work it in my deals. Every single time the charity does it, all the worry goes away, and we're up 10 grand. It becomes the best item of the night sometimes.
One of the things I want to just mention, since you said that, one of the things that gets misconstrued about celebrities, speakers, entertainers, any of that stuff, is that they think, okay, I went on there and it says Jim McMahon's 20,000. Well, they're all going to put some number out there because there's somebody that's going to go out there and pay it. But they all negotiate. Every one of them negotiate. I did an event where we had Damon John from Shark Tank come in.
Yeah.
Started a very, very high number. By the time we got done, it was about half the cost, and he was paying for his own flights because they can't redo time. And I'm not saying you got to go cut them off at the knees, but they want to come and do that. That's exposure for them. They come and do that because they know the better they do, it goes up more.
I have a similar story. I don't know if you guys know who Lou Holtz is, but he's a Hall of Fame football coach. Some people might know him, some people won't.
Notre Dame.
Well, I signed Lou for this big police event we're doing, and I was trying to get Robert O'Neill from SEAL Team 6, who killed bin Laden, just a great police event. Well, Robert O'Neill hit me at $35,000. This is what he does for his living now, and I get it. So I get Lou Holtz signed, and he was like $7,500. Well, he calls me, and I explained to him, sometimes you actually get the celebrity on the darn phone as well. And here's what I said. I said, boy, I wish I could get Robert O'Neill because he hit me $35,000, but I think it would work. Within 6 minutes, Robert O'Neill sends me an email and says, price is now $17,500. Lou called him. Lou Holtz got a hold of him and said, I'm going to be there. Can you come? And saved $17,500. So yeah, you're right. You could ask because they can only say no, and it's okay. I also want to talk about the power of Cameo. I know we're running short on time, but if you don't know what Cameo is an app on your phone that you could download, and it has all kinds of celebrities. So when COVID was around, everybody was at home like this. Even the best of the celebrities were at home. And we had a little event to do in Danville, Illinois, and it happens to be where Dick Van Dyke was from. Well, here we go. It's for the Danville Library Foundation, and the Danville Library tends to be an older crowd because it's a library, okay? That's just how it is right now. Well, Dick Van Dyke was on Cameo, and I sent him the whole script. It cost us $109, and Dick Van Dyke says, hey, it's Dick Van Dyke. You need to come to the Danville Library Gala. We need you. I'm from Danville. I wrote the script for him. He did it in his living room, and we advertised that thing like crazy, and it was the best year they ever had. And so the app Cameo can get a celebrity in your town and do what I'm doing. And no matter where you're at in the country, no matter what your political views are, no matter who your favorite team is, it could be done.
That is so good.
Hey,
Big
I
Mike,
just thought of it. Maybe I should get on Cameo.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's a great. That's a great feedback. Okay, I'm going to bring Trevor back on. We've got something free to give away.
Yeah,
and then we're going to wrap things up. Any questions before we go today? And hey, I'm going to send out an email. We're going to tag Big Mike on it. So if you come up later on, you want to contact for anything, you sure can.
Yeah. If anybody needs me, just reach out.
Question. Yeah, if you've got a question, please ask. That's what we're here to do. Yeah. And so
I'm assuming,
go ahead, Trevor.
Yeah, I'm assuming there's going to be some questions. Hey, we've got this event, and this is what we do, and how would you promote it, and how long? And I think, and Mike, thanks so much for making yourself available. But
yeah, we appreciate it so much.
That's a byproduct of being on with us. We want folks to be able to reach you easily. So yeah, hit Mike with those questions. Jason's got some exceptional experience, and between the two of them, and maybe a tiny little bit that I can add, I'm sure we can get somewhere with that. So please don't hesitate to reach out. I just think it's so good. I think it's so good. you're really none of this is painful. It's a nudge. I just think it's a really, really genuine nudge. But we're laying out some really cool bullet points with the personalized texting, the personalized phone calls, getting creative with local celebrities. And then, like you said, Mike, the power of video and folks sharing that. It's just, we have a very, very small bit of experience with that, with us offering videos to go along with our items. And I mean, it's really uncanny, the feedback that we get. And it's so simple, because why ignore the age that we're living in, where it really is easy to get across to someone via text, and it really, really is easy to get the invitation and the word out with a video that you made in your home that your wife filmed. I mean, so why can't we all do this for all of our events?
Yeah, it's right there.
And
I mean, it's
that
right.
event that I said I sold out, you know, via texting, I happen to have, there's the list I made. It was a clipboard with all the names. The Pink have already sent me the checks. The event's December 4th. It was so old school, sitting in my vehicle with a clipboard, who's in, who's paid me, and we are ready to go. And I never made a flyer. I texted A through Z. 40 tables got sold out on a 2-hour ride. Now, yes, I do believe in it big time. I believe the police, again, the morale is low and support needs to be there. And I want to do that. And I'm throwing a party. I didn't even attach a charity to it. I told everybody on a text, I want to spend this money on a party for the police. This is what I'm doing. And so if you want it bad enough, I really wanted it bad enough, and I sold it out in one day. But I went down and I laid in bed that night and I thought, man, I was telling my wife, I sold the whole event out via text.
Yeah.
I didn't even get on a radio or anything.
Wow.
That's pretty powerful. And then we have this common theme, this common pattern every week, just about where we mention how to engage your committee and how to put people in the best possible position to succeed. These are things that you could implore your committee and your team and your volunteers to do to help with you, right? There's got to be someone that's great in front of a camera, whether you have an auctioneer or not. There's got to be someone that has a ton of folks in their phone that they can reach out to every one of them via text. Are you going to attend? This is what we need from you. Can you help? Things like that.
It doesn't matter where you're at in the country. I'm doing events all over, and I'm sending my videos via iPhone. If they have an iPhone, it really works easy, because the format
it's so simple. The technology is so good. Yeah.
And so I'm going to Arizona. I'm doing these events, and they're promoted just like they are here. I did them all. They added their effects. And so, you know, auctioneers got to be a little bit.
Big Mike, we just lost the
shop.
There we go.
Gee, I'm not for everybody. You know, I'm not for everybody, but I do know when to turn it up or turn it down, depending on what organization I'm working with. And I think that's key. But don't negate videos and texting, because you're just you're it's like putting an ad in the, if you're still putting an ad in the newspaper.
Yeah.
You know, I think this is a good point, and I think Big Mike will agree. I don't know of any auctioneers that don't want to be on camera. So because we're all egomaniacs, just to some, I mean that the best way. So, hey, ask your auctioneer, say, hey man, here's a script, do just exactly what Big Mike says, tell them what you want them to say, and let them put their little spin on it, and let them tell 2 or 3 takes, and they can send it back to you. We've got to wrap it up. Big Mike, I cannot thank you so much. We've got a winner. I want to announce just really quick. Cherry Trinidad is our winner this week. Give her a big hand.
Hey.
You just won. You won an item that we're going to send to you, and you're going to be able to put in your next fundraiser to help you raise more money. Awesome. And remember, you guys, all y'all out there, and that's who really we're here to support. We're here to support not your organization, but actually you who are in the trenches doing that. So remember, superhero, do the move. You guys have it, and for Trevor
Jason,
Nelson,
one last thing I'd like to end this with.
Hit me with it, baby.
So many people helped me up along the way. Other auctioneers taught me stuff and different things. And that's why I share this with everybody, because, man, when you find something good that works, I pull for every organization. I coach baseball. I pull for every kid to do good. And so this is a good thing. It's working. Give it a shot. What do you got to lose?
No, hey, there you go. You heard it. On behalf of myself, my brother, Trevor Nelson, we're here for you. You guys will be getting this email out shortly. Cherry, I'll send you some stuff directly to you. And awesome. Again, if we can help you out in any way, please don't hesitate.
Thanks, Big Mike. That was fantastic, brother.
Yep.
Thank you so very much. Hey, thanks
I-
everyone.
by the way,
Hey, see you next week, you
Jason, I
guys.
usually charge 10,000 for that seminar. No charge for you today.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. We'll see you guys.
See ya.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much.
Send the bill to
Appreciate
Trevor.
it.
Send the bill
To
to Trevor.
Trevor.
I got it. I got
See
it.
ya.
See you, everybody.
Bye, everybody.